Good evening. Welcome to the Daily Brief. I am Lynette Kamande, and here are the top stories making the headlines tonight. A worsening humanitarian crisis as food insecurity, displacement, and climate shock push those onto the brink. Rising crime and violence, police warn of a new wave of gang activity and urban insecurity. Regional conflicts intensify as neighboring countries struggle with political instability and cross-border tensions. In the environmental news, Kenya confronts the harsh reality of biodiversity loss and rapid deforestation.
This is for the hustlers and the bustlers, for the movers and the shakers and the rule breakers. This is for the Imagineers and future careers, for the happy and the sad, the peaceful and the mad, the best friend you ever had. This is for the deal, the date. This is real, this can't wait. This is for the where, the how, the here and now, for here and there and everywhere. This is for night and day, for work and play, for seeking the truth, for finding the way. This is for sharing and caring, living and loving, buying and selling, discovering. This is for coming together, whatever the weather. This is for hopes and dreams and tweets and memes. This is for making it, for taking it on. This is for her and him, for us and them. This is for Kenya, for what we can do. This is for you.
Our first story tonight focuses on the Kenya's escalating humanitarian challenges, from drought-stricken communities to displaced families and overstretched relief system. The crisis continues to deepen. We begin with a comprehensive look at the situation on the ground, and this is what our reporter has for us.
With humanitarian needs growing and resources stretched thin, many here say they feel forgotten. Aid workers stress that without coordinated intervention, this crisis could take a dangerous turn. Reporting for Daily Brief, I'm David Kibet.
Yes. So, what do you think the government of Kenya should do in order to curb the situation like displacement, like there should be food supply in those areas for the people who are starving there? What should they do in short?
Okay, personally I think the government of Kenya should embrace the smart agriculture. Basically, it's agriculture which entails farmers employing technology, modern technology, such as the artificial intelligence, and also using of modern cameras such as the drone, whereby the artificial intelligence and the modern technology, the government can capture large data, which it can use to analyze trends and foresee the future, so that they can come with measures to mitigate climate change, such as long rainfalls or high temperatures. Yes. Another point is the government can work closely with the communication, mostly communication households, and particularly the big media houses, whereby the media houses can target areas which are prone to climate change and also disaster, to tell their story, and through sharing the stories, people can able to come up with solutions which are practical. Yes. And then another thing is basically is a disaster management. because you find that mostly the government is very poor in disaster management. So basically, coming up with plans and actions before even the disaster takes place.
Okay.
Yes, a well-detailed plan. Yes, in disaster management.
Thank you so much for that.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
All right.
To help us understand the scale of the crisis, I am joined by a humanitarian expert who will let us know how severe is the current humanitarian situation and which regions remain most vulnerable.
Yes, based off my research and observation, I'd like to say that the situation is quite severe. If we currently look at the regions such as Mandera, Lodwar, Garissa, I mean, we're talking about millions of Kenyans that are being affected by the drought. We're also talking about the lack of water and so on and so forth. So yeah, from my data and research, yes, the situation around those regions is quite severe. Yeah.
What are the biggest gaps in Kenya's emergency response system?
In my opinion, one of the major gaps that is being experienced, that we're having currently, is it's the response time. Yeah, because you see, by the time the aid is getting to the affected communities, the situation is dire. It's getting much more worse. So now I think that is the major gap, because there is no infrastructure, there is no, a way that we can channel this communication as soon as possible so that we can aid our fellow Kenyans in these areas. Yeah.
And lastly, how can government and aid agencies coordinate more effectively?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I think it's just like what I had said earlier, just to improve the response time. Yeah, we want to find a way that we can at least relay this information to the respective agencies as soon as possible, and then to be more effective in how this aid gets to the communities. What do I mean by that? I mean that this aid, it's not just being delivered for the sake of, we have this currency, but it is more of a way to improve the situation, not just for now, and also in the long term. Yes, so that is my view.
Your mother's favorite bread since she rocked this hairdo. Broadway's Mkate ni ule ule.
Second story tonight looks at the rising crime and violence across urban centers. From gang activity to armed robberies, insecurity is once again at the forefront of the public concern. Here is more from our reporter.
Police intensify operations and residents call for urgent action. Many are now demanding long-term solutions rather than temporary crackdowns. Reporting for the Daily Brief, I'm Baimana.
Regarding the increase of the crime and violence in the country, especially in Nairobi right now, what do you think has accelerated the cases zimekuwa nyingi hivyo currently?
What has accelerated crime and violence? It's because there is lack of job opportunities, plus the youth in our country don't have employment, so they can say lack of employment opportunities.
And do you think there's anything else?
Yeah, that's my opinion. That's a lack of employment opportunities, and there is no awareness, there's no creation of awareness amongst ourselves.
We now bring a crime and security expert with us who will give us more details on what is driving this recent rise in crime and violence. We now bring a crime and security expert with us who will give us more details on what is driving this recent rise in crime and violence.
The rise in crimes can be attributed to political, social, and economic situation in our country. The cost of living has risen due to poor policies by the government, and a lot of people are finding it difficult to get by and have their daily bread. So unfortunately, the sad bit is the resort to extra illegal means, which is engaging in criminal and illegal activity. And it is interlinked to poor governance and a need for survival.
Are the current policing strategies effective?
I need to give credit to the Kenya Police. They're really trying their best. However, there's a disconnect between them and the citizen. What I can suggest is there needs to be a collaboration between the two stakeholders, and they can come up with strategies on how to report crime when it happens and how to prevent and preempt it from happening. So I feel like we need a robust collaboration between the two stakeholders, the Kenya Police and the citizens, and also support from others.
And lastly, how can communities and law enforcement rebuild trust?
If I refer to my previous statement, the Kenya Police needs to get into those crime-laden areas and sensitize the public on what criminal activities might occur, and also offer incentives for gangs, criminals, and potential at risk, the alternative ways and a path to live. So the trust has to be, there needs to be a lot of stakeholder engagement between the police and the public. Yes.
Wase, hii bill ni yangu. Nimeuza shipment nzima in one day. So I'm paying for this.
You see, I also finished paying off the loan on my trucks. Kwa hivyo mimi nishikilie hii sawa.
Guys, let me pay this, Just finish my online degree.
He can also pay.
Guys, nimeacha job yangu leo. Cause I'm starting my own business tomorrow. Hizi ni zangu.
Turning to the regional affairs, tensions continue to mount in neighboring countries, spilling over into Kenya's borders. From refuge flows to trade distributions, the effects have been felt locally. Here is a special report from our reporter.
With peace talks ongoing but progress slow, many hope regional leaders will prioritize diplomacy over conflict. Reporting for the Daily Brief, I'm Jonathan Gugi.
The conflict or the wars between South Sudan and Sudan. What's your take on that, and what perspectives or what measures should be done to cope with that or stop that?
The
conflict between Sudan and in Sudan is actually a conflict that is one thing. It's on limelight and it's so devastating because Sudan produces oil and hereby it hinders the South Sudan people from doing their business. So that oil conflict is unnecessary and it is not fun. And the long-term solution is to sit down. I hear that if you listen to the ground, you from Sudan, you hear that it is just a matter of personal interest that is being fought. So let people put aside their personal interest and let them put the country at front. Then that will be the solution.
To provide clarity on this developing situation, I am joined by a regional conflict expert who will let us know what factors continue to fuel regional instability.
The conflict in Sudan is as a result of the previous government's policies, the former President Omar al-Bashir, where he was indicted by the ICC as a war criminal. To foster and build support, he sought a paramilitary force that are known as the Rapid Sudan Forces. And as a result, the two have been unable to agree with the National Army. The conflict is purely economic and political. So it is a challenge to the citizens because they control different parts of the country.
How are these conflicts affecting Kenya directly?
Now, as you're aware, our current regime, the president has recognized the Rapid Sudanese Forces, RSF. They were recently hosted this year, I think. And as a result, Kenya's imports, or rather exports, to Sudan are banned. And there's also a lot of terrorism activities flowing through the border, creating instability, arms, and illegal activities hostility towards Kenya.
And lastly, are diplomatic efforts showing signs of progress?
I hate to be a pessimist, but sadly, no. As you can see, Sudan is currently controlled by two different factions, the Sudanese Armed Forces and the Rapid Sudanese Forces. And they control different parts of the country. As you can see, some governments recognize one faction, the other recognize the other faction. Now, diplomatic efforts have been attempted. However, what remains is it's an internal issue. It's an internal issue that needs to be resolved. It's complex, but with other measures and mechanisms, I believe they can be the solutions. Like my uncle said, there's a solution to every problem. Yes.
Nainuka natazama, njia mbele natembea, safari yangu nitafika kilele. Naweza, naweza.
And finally tonight, we look at Kenya's shrinking forest and declining biodiversity. Conservation is one that deforestation and habitat loss are pushing our many species to the brink. Here's more from our reporter.
Conservationists pushing for stronger enforcement and community participation. The future of Kenya forest hinges on urgent action. Reporting for Daily Brief, I am David Kibet.
What do you think for us to preserve our forest should be done? Or what are the precautions should be put forward for us to preserve our forest better in a better way?
I think we just need to observe the existing laws. We have so many things. We have the MCA. We even have environmental impact assessment tests for infrastructure. We just need to do them. We need to empower NEMA to enforce those laws. If people are not supposed to build on wetlands, we conserve wetlands. And we also need to plant more trees, but we need to plant them within reason and direction of people and experts. If you can't be planting eucalyptus trees in a wetland, they will kill the wetland. So we need to also have advisory directives from the government using local expertise on what trees go where, and even which biomes do not need to be interfered with. We don't need to plant so many trees in the savannah. The savannah is already a carbon sink as it is, so it's just just working with existing infrastructure, and especially when it comes to legislature, and also just adhering to common knowledge when it comes to environmental.
We are now joined by an environmental expert who will let us know how serious is the threat of biodiversity loss in Kenya today.
The rate of biodiversity loss in Kenya is a very imminent issue that is affecting our country, mostly because we are currently witnessing depletion of animal species and also habitat, which is caused due to climate change and human activities.
Are the main drivers of deforestation?
The main drivers of deforestation mostly are population increase, whereby people are cutting down trees to build commercial houses. Another reason is charcoal burning, which is caused charcoal burning mostly in African countries such as Nigeria, and also tree logging, which is the cut down of trees, illegal trees without regulation.
Are current conservation policies strong enough?
In my view, I can say that in Kenya, since the inception of the Kenya Kwanza government by His Excellency Ruto, he's championing, his main agenda has been the climate change. So I can say that we are currently in a process of developing conservation policies, but there's still some work to do, whereby you find that it's written down on paper, it's a good framework, good policies on paper, but on the ground there's nothing. Mostly one of the major issues that is causing that problem is due to low community involvement. So I would encourage that the government should create awareness to the public about why we should conserve our environment, and why it's an emerging issue. It's a big emerging issue.
Bringing us to the end of tonight's edition of the Daily Brief. As the country faces a humanitarian crisis, insecurity, regional and environmental challenges, staying informed is the first step towards meaningful action. I am Lynette Kamande. Thank you for watching. See you next time on the Daily Brief.